Another week of the NFL is behind us, and a good one at that. Although I will say that Monday Night Football game was a little bit of a tough watch. I believe 21 penalties between the two teams. That's pretty crazy. Lots of sloppy ball in that one, but still a fun week overall. I'm excited to get into it today. So welcome back to the Sideline Sorcerers. We'll be starting off with our Week 6 assessment and then getting in to what we believe will happen in Week 7. We had a pretty good week, wouldn't you say, Jake?
Dude, I would say so. I finally eclipsed 12
that
games.
coveted 12. I know you were talking about that. Really nice picks. The two that we diverged on for the most part, you took for your own, and that was impressive. Like, I know you've been hanging your hat in Houston, so good stuff there.
Thanks, dude.
And yeah, Dallas pulled through last night. I have a lot of thoughts about that game, so let's just get right into it, right? You got anything? Any thoughts?
No, yeah, I'm ready to get started.
All right, let's do it. So Thursday Night Football was Denver at Kansas City. You know what? Why don't you take this one? You had that great parlay that ended up hitting. It was a little stressful there. Thanks, Russ. But it did hit.
Yeah, bro, the parlay cashed. We were feeling magical on Thursday.
Yeah, I hope you saw our parlay, so you can make some money. I mean, might as well, right?
Right, yeah. If you haven't, make sure to check out our shorts or TikTok or the Instagram page.
The shorts are really where the money's at. Like,
Yeah.
in these, we just kind of, I feel like I'm going to rename my section at least to things to consider, like bets to think about.
Right.
I'm not going to call them locks or leans or
Best
anything of
bets,
the
yeah.
sort. But the shorts, though, I mean, your Thursday Night Football parlays are 2 for 3 so far. The short I posted went 2 for 3, and the bets within that. So overall, it's a pretty
It's
good
a profitable
percentage. Like, you're
weekend,
making
bro.
money,
Right.
if you're listening to our shorts. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
66% hit rate.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't like YouTube shorts, we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, so
Yeah.
lots of options.
Definitely. But yeah, the parlay, I kind of forgot what it was a little bit. I think it was
It
Cortland
was-
Sutton. Was it 2 receptions or 3 receptions?
It was 2 plus, or no, it was just 2. Two
Just
or more
2 or
receptions
more.
for Cortland.
Russ
You had
Tudd.
1 Russ Tudd, holy shit. And
Kelsey,
then I think,
40?
40 on Kelsey. I think that was it.
Is that really it? There was only 3 legs. Pacheco 25 maybe?
Pacheco, yeah, something
Pacheco,
with Pacheco
25.
in there. I mean, obviously, Travis Kelsey had 40
Yeah.
yards within like the first half a minute. It was
Right.
crazy.
Yeah.
But I knew, I told you, Russell Wilson would be the one I'd be most concerned about, and it definitely
You were
was
right.
the hardest one. But I'm glad he still got it. I mean, Russ just didn't look good. He's run for his life. Made some bad decisions, though. I just don't understand what the Broncos are all about. It's supposed to be a good year for them. I
Yeah.
mean, they have a Hall of Fame coach. They had, maybe could have been a Hall of Fame quarterback. I don't understand what's going on in the slightest. Kansas City didn't even play that well. Mahomes had some head-scratching throws, I would say. There was one that I was looking at, the pick. Just not really a good decision on his part. I do believe because of his, lack of receiver talent, he's starting to force some things. But on the other side, though, Rashee Rice looks pretty good. He's not bad.
Yeah.
So
Mahomes is getting him the ball. On the other hand, Russ is not getting the ball to Judy.
did you see, I don't honestly know the sports commentator, but he's on the field and halftime comes, and so everyone goes back into the locker room. As Jerry Jeudy is going into the locker room, this sports commentator, the sports personality, yells out to him or something. They have an altercation. Basically, the
Really?
sports commentator says you're a bad receiver, and then
Well, I missed that.
he goes on and is talking to, he's getting interviewed by someone else on the field, just another sports guy, another analyst or announcer. And he rips into Jerry Jeudy. He says that you're a wide receiver 3 at best. I mean, no one's going to trade for you. If someone asks me, should we trade for Jerry Jeudy? I'm going to say no. And he just tears into Jerry Jeudy.
Wow.
And honestly, I mean, Judy's not looking great, but I mean, there's definitely issues on both sides there. However, I remember when Jerry Jeudy came out. I mean, I think he was in the 2020 draft class, and he just never has been great. Although I think he did end up having a sneaky kind of good year last year, 970 yards maybe on the year, which is pretty good. But yes, I mean, Jerry Jeudy has not lived up to what he was supposed to be as
No.
a first-round draft
Certainly
pick.
not. I mean, but it's no one on the Broncos really is, though. It's
I mean,
not
Cortland Sutton manages to have a
gets a
touchdown,
touchdown.
almost every game. Cortland Sutton is solid.
but the yardage isn't there.
No yardage, but I mean, when you only throw for 95 yards in the game,
That's
I mean,
true.
there's not much to go around.
That's a good point, yeah. Although Marvin Mims, that deep threat.
Yeah, I mean, Marvin Mims, I mean, they have pieces. I really don't understand why it's not being put together. I think it's a lot of internal stuff, just like the players giving up, Russell Wilson, Sean Payton going at it.
Yeah, I can't imagine that they have much to play for. I mean, especially with the disagreements with the coach, and they're just so bad every single week. I mean, they've got to be losing.
I mean, when you give up that lead to Washington, like, sure, you can lose that game to the Raiders, I guess, but the next one, like, it's just very deflating, I'm sure.
Right.
It's hard to stay invested.
It is.
So that was that. Then you had the final London game of the year. Now, I remember talking in the podcast, I said that, Tennessee's at home. Like, maybe they could do something. I didn't realize this game was in London, but they did designate Tennessee as the home team, obviously. And I probably would not have taken Tennessee, or even, I know I took Baltimore, but I wouldn't have done the Tennessee plus 3.5. I wouldn't even given it a thought. I'm really disappointed about how Ryan Tannehill is playing, a guy who I was a huge fan of. I loved his underdog story. He had a great season in 2020. I mean, let's just take a step back. In 2020, he had MVP level stats. I mean, I think he threw for like 36 touchdowns, 9 picks. He had like 9 more rushing touchdowns. I remember distinctly against the Detroit Lions when they were still pretty bad. He had 4 total touchdowns. I mean, there were games like he was averaging like 3 touchdowns a game. I mean, he had just great stats. Obviously, the year before that, he took him all the way to the AFC Championship game. So I don't understand. I mean, obviously, you lose A.J. Brown. Treylon Burks hasn't been what he should be. Still, though, I'm a little disappointed with how he's been playing. They put in Malik Willis, who performed better. Not a good sign for Tannehill's future there, but yeah, I mean, they still made this game close. Not a great game to watch. Lots of field goals. I don't know if you saw. I mean, Justin Tucker was accountable for
5 field goals, right?
6 or 5. Yeah, something like that. It was crazy. I mean, Tennessee had a bunch of field goals as well. Glad I didn't wake up early for this one. That's all I'll say about that.
Yeah. To your point about Tannehill, though, I remember, I don't know if you ever heard of these things, but they're like the blind comparisons, and it's like, who would you rather have?
Oh, yeah. I've seen like Colin Cowherd do that. Like, he'll silhouette the person like against Mahomes, and then like you'll be like,
yeah. Because I think they did one, it might have been like Lamar or Aaron Rodgers or someone like extremely talented going up against Tannehill, and they had like identical stats.
Yeah, because he's not bad. Like, he's really good.
He wasn't, but like he is not there anymore.
I don't get it. Like, I think they have not great offensive line.
Yeah.
Not enough receiver talent. So I really think like you put him on some of these other teams, though. I think he performs great. Like, just kind of like Kirk Cousins, if he has that talent. I think if you put him on the Niners, I mean, he's doing just as good, if not better, than Brock Purdy. I still believe in the guy, but he's getting up there in age, and he may not have a starting job next year or even next week.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that they yanked him just because he was doing so bad, but apparently he did have some sort of minor injury going on.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, they pulled him out and he went to the locker room, but I thought that he was just playing bad. Excuse me, a little voice crack there, kind of embarrassing.
No, I mean, like, it's embarrassing how bad he was playing. Like, it's hard to, conceptualize it even, but I'd rather see Will Levis step in, but he still might be hurt from the preseason.
Is that their third stringer?
Well, see, he was drafted to be their second stringer, even maybe like replace Tannehill, but he got hurt in the preseason. I just want to see him play. Like, I don't think he'll be anything, but I just want to see him get out there and at least get a chance, because we've seen Malik Willis play last year. He's not very good. Maybe he's gotten better, but
he hasn't, bro. He was awful on Sunday morning.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Because I looked at his stats and I was like, I needed to see like how he compared to Tannehill, and it looked like he did marginally better than Tannehill.
If you were watching the game, though, you would not have thought that. He like would drop back and he would get sacked. He would just hold on to the ball for like 5 to 8 seconds. He would not like.
Dude can't be doing that. You're watching some dude across the sideline like Lamar Jackson, who is very similar to Malik Willis in the sense that Malik Willis should be able to run around and make plays.
Mobile quarterback.
And if what you're saying, he's staying around the pocket, dude, just get out of there and run. Like, if you're not going to be able to throw the ball, if you're not confident enough to throw the ball, just start running around like crazy.
Yeah.
Like, start doing what like Colin Kaepernick would have done, or quarterbacks like that, like Tim Tebow, like who just relied more. Cam Newton relied a lot more on their ability to run.
Yeah, Malik completed his first pass actually, like right out of the gate. Comes in 1st and 10, and he completes a nice pass.
Nice.
And then after that, It's just, what is he doing? Like, he is taking so much time. He is seeing people, but he's not making that decision to throw the ball. He just holds on to it. Second too long, the defense gets to him. And I think Baltimore had to have had at least like 5 sacks on him. I mean,
that's brutal.
He was just looking awful back there.
Yeah, they need to at least experiment with Will Levis and see if they could be, in contention for one of those quarterbacks. I mean, there's so many quarterbacks coming out into this draft class. So, I mean, they're going to have the, ton of options, right? Whether it be Drake May, I don't think they're going to be as bad to get Caleb Williams, but maybe they trade with whoever, like the Bears who have that pick. Yeah. Conversations we'll have down the road. But, yeah, Baltimore won. Lamar Jackson, pretty good, not great, as per usual. Then you got Carolina at Miami. I love how Carolina took like a 14-0 lead, and then Miami was just like, fuck you guys, and just went nuts. Tua's looking good. I don't know if we talked about it. I know we talked about it personally, but I really thought Josh Allen was in line to win the MVP this year because he is at a disadvantage. Like, you have that adversity in the sense his defense is getting banged up. He's losing guys left and right. He's still got Stephon Diggs, obviously. He's got talent. But I thought in terms of him, like, versus whether it be Brock Purdy or Tua, it just seems like he's more the reason for Buffalo's success than maybe Tua or Brock Purdy are for those teams' success, because you got, Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, or then you got Debo and
still
Ayuk
tons of
and
weapons
Kittle
on both
and McCaffrey, so I think if MVP truly means like the most valuable player, like the player that is, most responsible for your success, I thought Josh Allen could do that. And we'll talk about how he played on Sunday night, but you can't really argue with Tua's stats right now. I mean, he's playing really well. He's, throwing high yards per clip, great passer rating, lots of touchdowns, efficient, winning games. So, I mean, right now, I guess Tua is the front runner, although I still think, I mean, Josh Allen, like, made his stats look okay, so I think he still has a pretty decent shot. And then I kind of like Jared Goff, like, for the value right now, if you want to place, like, a future bet on it.
That'd be a sneaky little one, dude, because
he's secretly playing pretty good right now, and he's beating, like, better teams than Miami's playing. So, yeah, there's that. I don't know what you think about the game.
Oh, yeah, about the game. I did like that Carolina jumped off to that early lead.
Yeah.
Adam Thielen got a nice tud for me,
I slotted him in my lineup. I replaced Garrett Wilson with him, and that paid off.
Dude, I would be starting Thielen over Garrett Wilson every single week. I mean, Thielen is Bryce Young's favorite target.
I just figured, like, it's got to stop eventually. Like, I mean, he's going nuts. But, yeah, I mean, he looks great. Like, I'm very, very pleased about that.
He's putting up Cooper Kupp level numbers.
I know. Lots of receptions.
Yeah,
so
it's insane.
And just like Garrett Wilson, like, is just young and he's the stud, right? But I'm like, it's the Jets, though, and it's Zach Wilson. And it's funny because, I mean, there were 2 receivers on my team. I know this is completely unrelated, real quick, but, like, I had 2 receivers that I just couldn't bench at all. Like, you can't bench Devontae Adams, and you really can't bench DK Metcalf.
No.
But in terms of all my receivers that I had on my team, like, those were the 2 lowest ones. Like, I did not start Cortland Sutton and Garrett Wilson, both of which scored more than those 2 guys. But then, I mean, it's like,
I would never
bench those guys. I'm just happy that I started Adam Thielen, though,
Yeah.
I started, like, Christian Kirk, who got a touchdown, and there was, like, another guy. So, like, all my receivers still did, like, okay. But Devontae Adams, dude, like, you got to get involved. But then again, the Raiders are winning the games that he's not getting involved in. It's kind of weird.
Dude, it's like Jacoby Myers has consumed all of Devontae's
I know, dude. That could have been
targets.
another, like, first touchdown. You could have done that again.
Dude, I know.
He was the first one again.
Yeah, I wonder, it was probably still like plus 1,200 odds, bro.
They probably knocked it down like a smidgen.
Maybe.
A smidgen, but yeah. Anyways, you got New Orleans at Houston here. This game, I was looking at the score a lot because I was like, I knew I picked New Orleans, and well, looky here. Like, New Orleans has a chance to win the game. Like, they're in the red zone. Oh, nope, they went for it in 4th down. They get the ball back again late in the 4th quarter, and they just couldn't put together the drive. Like, Derek Carr threw for a ton of yards. I think he threw a pick at the end or something, maybe. But either way, they could not get into the end zone, even though they had opportunity after opportunity. C.J. Stroud finally turned the ball over. But, I mean, C.J. just looked better in this game than Carr. I mean, he had 2 touchdowns, not a great completion percentage, but he won the game. I am mind-boggled. Just absolutely mind-boggled with the talent on New Orleans offense that they could not get into the end zone against a mediocre Texan defense. Like, I'm just banging my head against the wall as I'm watching this game because it's like, They're right there.
Yeah, bro.
They're right there.
Yeah, I mean, they've got Michael Thomas, who has yet to find the end zone this year, and he has eclipsed 50 yards in all of his games except for this past one. He got 45.
Yeah.
But he loves those little slant routes.
Right.
And when New Orleans is in the red zone, I don't understand how they're not able to get the ball to him to score a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, they need to figure something out. Like, Derek Carr was yelling at the offensive coordinator on the sidelines. I like Derek Carr a lot, but I was a little concerned about how he played in this game. But great pick on the Houston there. I mean,
Thanks,
you're just
dude.
hanging your hat on them. So
Yeah, I'm hoping
Very
that
nice.
maybe you'll come over to them next week because they've got a bye this week.
yeah, I might have to, depend on who they're playing.
Yeah, I have not looked at that yet.
Yeah, I take it day by day. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
Washington at Atlanta. I'm glad I picked Washington and wasn't coaxed into picking Atlanta here. Like, I very could have been because, Desmond Ridder undefeated
home,
home.
dude.
But I literally called it. I was like, I'm predicting him to get his first home loss here. Sure enough, he did. He threw for a ton of yards, but threw like 3 picks or something, whereas Sam Howell threw 3 touchdowns. Cool to see Sam Howell succeed. I mean, Washington just kind of dominated this game, even though it still was like kind of close in some regards. Like, Atlanta had opportunities. And like, I like seeing Desmond Ridder throw for more yards and like seem to kind of push the ball down the field a little bit more, but you can't be turning the ball over that much.
Right.
So
Yeah, he's got to figure that out.
just kind of went how I expected it to go.
Yeah. The other thing too is let's talk about Bijan a little bit because I feel like you just want more out of him. Like, he is so talented. He looks amazing when the ball's in his hands, but yet it's just not seeming to translate, at least in terms of fantasy, into points. I mean, he's putting up like 10 points, like 3 or 4 weeks in a row
I think
now.
they need to start getting him more pass catching opportunities, more Eckler action, like Kamara type playing.
I mean, he's had some incredible jukes on people, like
Yeah,
making them miss.
You gotta make use of his youth right now.
Right.
I mean, he is a fresh back.
Yeah.
He's a little pony. So just let him go out there and run. Like, just
dude.
I mean, grind him into the ground and then don't pay him. I guess. I mean, like, as bad as it sounds, that's just kind of how it goes for running backs.
Right.
You got him on the rookie deal now for the next 4 years. Just grind him into the ground. I mean and
that's
then
what they
draft a new
should be
running
doing,
back. I mean,
bro.
that's really what you should do.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Alligator too.
He's he's all right, but like he's not Bijan.
No, I know. Indianapolis at Jacksonville. So the Gardner Minshew revenge game did not go as planned for Gardner. He threw for a ton of yards. I love how all these quarterbacks in the last 3 games threw for over like 330 yards thereabouts. Desmond Ridder, Derek Carr, and Gardner Minshew, and all of them lost. And all of them turned the ball over a lot. I think Gardner had 3 picks and a fumble. Bleh, not good. Jacksonville just kind of playing like it's almost like they're sleepwalking at this point. Like, another 2 touchdowns from Trevor Lawrence, another pick from Trevor Lawrence, like another mediocre game from him. ETN has a good game. I don't know. I mean, it feels kind of weird. It feels kind of like the game they played week 1 when Jacksonville also, I think, scored 31 points. It was just, instead of Anthony Richardson, it was Gardner Minshew. So I don't know. It was kind of one of those throwaway games when pretty much expected.
Right. Yeah, ETN is looking like a stud out there. He keeps getting those goal line carries.
There's like another ETN coming up. There's an ETN on Florida right now,
No
like
way.
University of Florida.
Related?
Like Trevor. Yeah, it's like his younger brother.
No way.
Yeah, he's a running back too.
That's fire, bro.
I know. So it's like James Cook and Dalvin Cook, and now you got another ETN.
Dude, what if
like a
Jacksonville
clone.
drafts him and then they
The
have
double-headed monster.
Dude,
That'd be crazy.
they've got both ETNs in the tank.
Wow. See, that's too much. Too much running back talent.
Yeah,
You
I
gotta
guess that's true.
Send them to somebody who needs a running back right now.
Chicago?
Like Minnesota,
Chicago needs
maybe.
everything, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Who could use a good running back right now? That's a conversation for another day. Seattle at Cincinnati. Cincinnati barely hung on to win this game. Seattle had so many opportunities to win this game. Again, like a bunch of trips to the red zone, similarly to what New Orleans was doing against Houston. I really wanted them to kick a field goal one of those times and then just count on getting the ball back again, but they opted to go for it in 4th down. I think Geno Smith got absolutely whacked in terms of a sack. And because of that, Seattle did not cover the spread that I kind of bet on them to do. But yeah, I mean, again, just Cincinnati hanging on in some of these games. 2 touchdowns from Burrow, another pick, not a ton of yards, not a lot of pushing it down the field, but got the job done, winning games. And yeah, I think they've won now like 3 or 4. So, I mean, they're looking pretty good.
Yeah, they're looking better. Although T. Higgins is not, bro. I think it's time to worry about T.
I mean, it might be his health. I mean, didn't he have like an injury? He was out at the last game. He was out.
But like through the first 4 games of the season, he had 1 good game, and the other 3 he didn't do jack squat.
Was it like a personality type of thing, like an effort type of thing, or is he just?
I don't know, man. It looked like he had like a good amount of targets, but he just isn't converting them into any points. I think
that's odd.
Yeah, I'm not high on T anymore, dude. I thought he was like really. I think he's very talented.
Didn't he have like 2 touchdowns still in one
week
of the games?
2.
Yeah, against the Ravens or something.
Yeah, he popped off on week 2, but week 1 he had. I don't even think he had like a single catch in week 1. One of the weeks he didn't have anything.
He's bound to just pop off. Like one of these days they're gonna lock down Jamar, and T's just gonna be the guy there. Although I mean, you got Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd. I don't know.
Didn't he have a touchdown this past week?
I think he did. Yeah. I need to watch some more Bengal action to get a grasp on it. You know, I hope it's not like the Chase Claypool incident where he's like losing interest or he's getting upset because he's splitting time with Jamar. He's not getting all the receptions he wants or the targets he wants.
I feel like it's possible.
Receivers are like that, man. They're very divish. Like AJ Brown, remember a couple weeks ago? That's why I'm like, you gotta be a team player. You know, as long as you're winning.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter.
You really can't complain because your time will come. Trust me, your time will come. Minnesota at Chicago. What a gross game. We got to see Tyson Bagent, a D2 quarterback. Good for him, though. Like, bro comes in and actually plays a game. He's probably going to start this week.
Yeah.
Justin Fields is doubtful. So good for him. I'm happy for the guy. I mean, he's got some pop to him. He had a touchdown. He had a fumble. He had an interception. So a little bit of everything. And just an ugly game. Not great weather. Minnesota hung on. Chicago kind of made it interesting, but you can't be turning the ball over like that. And sad to see Justin Fields go out. I actually had a little bet going on, like it was like a prize picks, you know, where you pick 3 like yards over and under. And I did not like his over under in terms of the passing yards because of the weather. So I went rushing yards. I think he's gonna rush for more than 50. And he gets to 46 before he's taken out.
Bro.
And screwed me.
Why didn't you bet the under on passing yards instead of his over on rushing yards?
Well, because I was like, it's the Vikings. And like when you put up 300 games back to back, 300 passing yards, I was like, I don't really know. The over under was at like 192, I think. So I was like,
that's
he could easily,
line to bet.
Yeah, he could go over that. But he also could go under that. I mean, obviously, it would easy go under that is what ended up happening. But
it's also just more fun to root for the guys when you pick the over. You know,
I love going over.
Yeah, like Justin, get some more yards. Like
and
not
he was going
too bad.
to. Like I mean, he got pulled like 5 yards short.
Right.
And then the other thing, I did pick Brock Purdy to go under on the passing yards, and that was nice.
Good pick, bro.
Yeah. Russell Wilson over on the passing yards, not good.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, man. I wouldn't be betting much on the Broncos.
I gotta stop it.
Or just betting the unders, and you'll be Bezos.
Yeah, you know, pick Broncos to never cover the spread.
Yeah, dude, they were so close though on Thursday, plus 10.5, and they lose by 11.
That is true. Yeah. Harrison Butker was like, "Nah, don't worry, guys."
Yeah. No, I would generally not be picking the Broncos to cover the spread.
Yeah, although they got like another winnable game this week, and it's like, what do I do here? Anyways, you have any thoughts on that game?
No.
Raccoon game?
Yeah, nothing else to add for me.
Yeah. San Fran at Cleveland, also kind of like a raccoon game in
felt
disguise,
like it,
dude.
bro.
It definitely felt like it. You got a backup quarterback in for Cleveland. I don't really understand what's going on with Deshaun Watson. I mean, let's just rewind the tape here a little bit. The game before their bye against whatever team it was. Was it, what team did they play? Oh, the Ravens. Yeah, it was the Ravens, like the week 4 game. He's medically cleared to play, chooses not to, okay? Pussy. They get a bye, and you're like, all right, if he was medically cleared to play and you get a bye, I mean, surely he'll be able to start week 6.
Yeah.
But again, no. I don't know what's going on there. Like, it almost feels like Deshaun Watson does not care whether he wins or loses. He got paid, absolutely crazily. It
He's
seems
just
like the
giving
dude just
massages,
does. Yeah,
bro.
I mean, might as well. I mean, what does it matter at this point? So hopefully he plays coming up here because we need like some more. I mean, we need some quarterbacks to actually play. I mean, like Jimmy Garoppolo is out, Justin Fields is out, Trevor Lawrence is doubtful or questionable. So I mean, we need some action going on there, but. Still, PJ Walker, and I also find this funny. Let's listen to this. The Bears cut PJ Walker
I know, yeah.
and opted to have Tyson Bagent as their backup. PJ Walker comes in, wins the game against the best team in the league. Bears backup that they selected over PJ Walker comes into the game and loses against one of the worst teams in the league. Just going to put that out there. Good job,
Just a
Bears.
classical Bears management decision.
Very much so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like PJ Walker played great or anything. He threw a pick deep into his own territory, giving San Fran a touchdown, but you know, when your kicker misses 2 field goals that are makeable, Jake Moody, yeah, I mean, that's not good. I mean, it's bad weather, so I'll give him that, but you got to be making at least one of those kicks. So I was a little upset about that. Not a great game from Brock Purdy, but I don't really believe it was his fault. I mean, you're going to encounter games like this. Cleveland has a really good defense. You just came off a big win against the Cowboys, so I will give him a little bit of slack.
Yeah, I think that San Fran could be in a little bit of trouble here if CMC misses time.
Yeah, I mean,
Debo misses time.
Depends on the severity of their injuries, which I'm not sure about.
Yeah, CMC is questionable. I think Debo might be doubtful. If they lose CMC though, man, like that's a major blow to their team.
It was bound to happen. Like I knew it was bound to happen. The dude like gets hurt a bunch.
Every
like
year.
If you look back a couple years ago, you know, I mean, he just gets hurt a ton.
Yeah.
And they kind of use him a little bit too much. Like I know there was a time there where like, oh yeah, they're not using him much. You're mixing Elijah Mitchell in there. You're mixing that Mason running back in there.
Mm-hmm.
But then they're like, but he's just so good. And then they just kind of blew him into the ground.
So like Atlanta should be doing with Bijan.
Yeah. You just can't do that with McCaffrey, though.
Yeah.
On a team like this, you just can't be doing that.
Right.
It sucks, though, because I really do like the 49ers, and I am disappointed to see that happen. Although they got an easy game this week, so hopefully they can rehabilitate those guys for when they have to play the Eagles, which will be in a few weeks.
That'll be a good game. Excited for that one.
I'm excited for that one. Alrighty, New England at Vegas, Raccoon game, as we like to call it. Vegas pulled it out. I love that Brian Hoyer, who used to be a Patriot, I believe, came in and played really well. Like he went 6 for 10 for over 100 yards. So good for him. He made sure they won that game. New England's got lots of problems. Mac Jones just gives me the ick, as you know people would say. I don't like Mac Jones. He needs to go. I want to see Malik Cunningham play. We already know what Bailey Zappi is. Malik Cunningham, undrafted quarterback. I honestly don't remember where he came out of in college, but Malik Cunningham has a little bit more pop. He's kind of like, you know, I don't know, maybe what's a good example? Like Malik Willis. I know they have the same name, but like both of them have the potential to just kind of make things exciting. Kind of like a Anthony Richardson light. Like he'll move around and run and throw interceptions and fumble, but maybe he'll just be more exciting to watch.
Just add some
Mac Jones.
Some joy to the game.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, watching the Patriots is just agonizing.
Yeah, dude, no razzle dazzle at all there.
Yeah. So
at least they put some points on the board this week, though.
Yeah, well, good for you. Good for you. Yeah, for real.
I heard some rumors that the Patriots are considering firing Belichick, and that the Bears are contemplating signing him. I know this is all hypothetical.
That would be absolutely crazy.
That would be nuts, dude.
That would be nuts. I don't think that'll ever happen, or at least not yet, because Belichick has accrued so much stock in the sense that he's won a ton, and he can always just point to like Mac Jones or like the deficient offense or whatever to kind of take the blame, at least right now.
Yeah, I don't think it will happen mid-season, but I feel like it's a possibility at least at the end of the year.
I don't think it's crazy to think that Belichick is just like, you know, I mean, he's evil emperor, like in the sense that he's devising, he's kind of just tanking for Caleb Williams. Like, I mean, he's just thinking, I mean, like you look at him on the sidelines, like he's thinking about something, you know, like something's going on in there.
He wants
and
it,
like,
bro.
He's not that stupid. Like,
yeah,
I think there's a chance that he's maybe just kind of rolling through this year.
He's manifesting a new Brady. That's what he wants.
Although this one will be the most like prospected, most generational talent ever, whereas Tom Brady was like no one thought he would be anything. But in terms of success,
right,
he would hope so, yeah. Detroit at Tampa Bay. I actually watched some of this game. Creamsicle jerseys look kind of cool. Do you see those?
Yeah, dude, I did. Those were their old little throwback uniforms. I was shocked to see it. I literally turned on the game. I was like, what is that mascot on the middle of the field?
I know.
I was so spooked by it.
Yeah, I liked it. I love that. I actually have a hat. Like when I went to the Tampa Bay game last year, I bought a hat.
Did you really?
With that, like the old style pirate on it.
It looked like they were in Halloween costumes, bro.
I know. I liked it though. Like it looked good. But they didn't play well in them. Like Baker Mayfield threw an ugly pick. Oh, no, it was like picked. I remember, it was picked, but still like not a great decision on the throw.
Yeah.
For only scoring 20 points, though, Jared Goff threw for like a boatload of yards. I mean, he threw like for 355 yards, 2 touchdowns. Amon-Ra went off. Jameson Williams coming off his suspension had a touchdown. So good stuff all around from Detroit. I mean, they're winning the games they're supposed to. I was a little concerned. I mean, Tampa Bay's not so bad. Playing at home, coming off of a bye. And so I'm just glad that Detroit got their business done because this week is going to be a challenge for them.
Yeah, man, Detroit's looking like one of the most fun teams to watch these days.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. I mean, suddenly they are now tied for the best record in the NFL.
Yeah.
So
as we speak, there was a little thing popped up on ESPN that they were ranking like the top 5-1 teams.
Oh yeah,
and the
they
Lions
probably had the Lions at the last. No one respects the Lions yet.
The Lions were third, but I'm still a little bit surprised that.
So was it? Miami, San Fran, or Philly that they had behind them?
They had I think they had San Fran at 4, and then Philly at 5, bro. Who's 2? They had Dolphins
Chiefs,
at 1.
And they had the Chiefs in there?
Yeah, they had Dolphins at 1, Chiefs at 2.
Dolphins not at 1 at all. I mean, we'll talk about this later, but the Dolphins have not played anybody. So, and when they did finally play someone who was half good, they got slapped.
Yeah, I mean.
So I love the Dolphins, but
I wouldn't put them at 1. Dude,
no, absolutely not.
I could honestly feasibly see Detroit being number 1 at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Philly had an ugly loss. With the injuries, San Fran is not great. Kansas City's got some receiver issues. Mahomes having a down year.
Yeah.
So I think the argument can be made for sure.
I would not be putting Kansas City at 2 by any means. That's too high.
I could see them at 2.
You can?
I could see them at 2 right now. Yeah, I mean, they always they get better and better and better. I mean,
I guess
I
don't know, man.
They have so much like benefit of the doubt. Like what I would probably do, I would still give the edge to San Fran. I'd probably go San Fran, Philly, Kansas City, Lions, Miami, something like that.
So you're putting Detroit at 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to see a little bit more out of them. I honestly am going to pick them to lose this week. I'm a little concerned about them. Because we'll get to that. Let's just get through these.
Okay.
Arizona at the Rams. Close at first. Rams pulled away. Stafford had a really nice, clean game. Cooper Kupp went off. Puka Nacua, a little quiet. But hopefully he doesn't get diva-ish because he needs to know Cooper Kupp's the man. And eventually his time will come to be the number 1 guy. But not right now.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Puka's actually my sit this week because I think that Stafford favors Kupp too much, bro.
Oh, who are they playing this week?
They are facing Kansas City.
Oh, Pitt.
Oh, no, sorry. That's
Pittsburgh.
the Chargers, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. All right, we got Philadelphia at the Jets. Oh, my gosh. Philadelphia, what are you doing? 3 picks out of Jalen Hurts. Like, you just can't lose this game, I don't think. But, I mean, we got to give credit to the Jets' defense. Zach Wilson had a clean game. Didn't really do anything for or against the team, so you have to give it to him for that. I will say, though, the Jets could have easily won that Kansas City game and maybe should have won that Kansas City game, which would have put them now like 4-2, and they would have won the last 3 games. Kind of crazy to think that, assuming like everyone thought their season was over when Aaron Rodgers got injured, and now people are saying like there are reports Aaron Rodgers might return this year.
That would be unreal.
Like where did they find like this alien blood that they're injecting into him? Like I've never seen someone at his age or anyone at all come back from an injury like that quickly. But I mean, that would be awesome though. I mean,
I would love to see that, bro. For the playoffs, that'd be electric.
People are saying like week 12.
Week 12?
I saw week 12 in the headline.
Bro, that's unheard of.
I mean, maybe Aaron Rodgers is just celestial.
I mean, I guess.
I have to say, like, I'm really happy with his ambition to get back. Like, I don't feel like he ever showed that level of drive in Green Bay, at least over the last like 5 years there. So, I mean, that's kind of exciting, something to follow, something to think about. We got the Giants at Buffalo. Great primetime game. NFL just, again,
they turned it into a good game, though, shockingly.
I mean, but it's a bad game, though. Like, it's a bad matchup.
Yeah. And
Josh Allen.
Buffalo just finds a way to make these bozo games close.
Like, I felt like, I was like, all right, first of all, Buffalo can't play against any fellow New York teams, first of all. I mean, they lost against the Jets. They might lose now against the Giants. Probably should have lost against the Giants. There are a couple instances in this where, I mean, the Giants could have kicked a field goal, I think, before the half, and like Tyrod Taylor screwed up the timing or whatever.
That was insane,
and then, which would have allowed them to kick a field goal at the end of the game to win because they were only down by 5 or whatever it was.
Did you see Dable screaming at him like as they walked into the locker room?
I heard about it. Yeah, I mean, you just can't make those mistakes. But yeah, I mean, Tyrod played okay. He obviously had a little bit of revenge going. This is his former team. They did lead to the playoffs before being replaced by Josh Allen. But the Giants' defense just showed up big time in this game, which was very impressive. A little concerned about the Bills' offense. Like, you just can't be doing this at home against a really bad team. I mean, they obviously still got it done, so you have to give them props. Like, you won a game you didn't play well in, so that's always a plus. But just, they haven't looked great the last few weeks. Jacksonville and London, just not ideal. So
yeah, it's just surprising. I mean, they have Josh Allen, bro, who used to just make things happen. And it's like sometimes he comes to play, like against the Dolphins, who, and again, arguably top 5 team in the NFL right now.
So hot and cold, you know?
Yeah, and he just absolutely busts them. And then he faces teams like, you know, the Giants, and he barely pulls out a win.
Yeah, I really don't understand. They need to figure something out there. I know their defense isn't great, but it wasn't really the problem in this game.
Yeah.
Dallas at the Chargers. Okay, so I have a lot of thoughts about this game. Obviously, I picked the Chargers to win. You picked Dallas to win. If I got this pick right, I think we would have tied in terms of the pick, which I was going for. I wanted that tie.
Yeah.
Didn't get it because let's just run through everything. I think the Chargers had 10 penalties. Now, the Cowboys outdid them with 11. Just a horrible game in terms of sloppiness. Just super penalized on both sides of the ball. And not fun to watch when you got these yellow flags just being thrown left and right.
It's like they're playing color guard out there, bro. Flag twirlers.
Right? I know. It's really, really ugly. I think Tom Brady came out and condemned the NFL or criticized them. He's like, you got to let them play ball. Like, stop calling as many flags. So, I mean, there are some that obviously, you know, were borderline or whatnot. But there was a lot in this game. Dak, I will say, played one of the best games I've seen him play over the last couple years. I mean, he was running really well. He was throwing at a high clip. The Chargers just can't tackle to save their lives. That's one reason why they lost this game. I mean, there are multiple times I watched a lot of this game, all right? So there are multiple times they have him dead to rights in the backfield. Like, you think, okay, another sack, nice. And then he just squirms out of it. He's looking like Lamar Jackson out here run. And then there was this one play. He's gone. Like, he should be in the ground. Like, he should be eating dirt. And he just squirms out and then throws kind of across his body toward the center of the field, like probably like 6-7 yards away from him, or maybe even a little bit more than that, to Tony Pollard. Okay, you get the first down, but then you miss tackling Pollard. There's like 3 guys that miss him, and he runs for 60 more yards. I mean, a play that was about to be and should have been a negative play, like a negative 8-yard play turned into a positive 6-yard play. That just can't happen. And then also Chargers, I mean, Brandon Staley is just uber aggressive. We know this, but at times you got to dial it in. Your defense has been playing pretty good over the last few weeks. Just take the field goal. You don't have to rely so heavily on these aggressive 4th down plays. And then Justin Herbert, he's playing his usual game. He missed a lot of throws, though. I will say, obviously had the game-sealing interception. And so just a lot of things went wrong in this game for the Chargers, a game that they easily should have won. The stats were on their side. If you look, there's a stat out there that teams are like 1-19 after facing the 49ers.
No way.
Right? And now they're 2-19 because the Cowboys
That's insane.
just beat the Chargers.
That's an unreal stat.
I mean, just look, I bet, I don't know, maybe we'll look at Cleveland this week. They'll probably lose.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you look at all the teams so far this year who have faced the Niners, they went on to lose. So, yeah, great job. Great job, Chargers. Just, I don't know. I mean, why do I put my stock in Brandon Staley? But it's not like I love Mike McCarthy. I don't think he's a great coach either. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, the end point, Dak played well.
Yeah, he did.
Good job, Dak.
He was the number one scoring fantasy QB this week, which is shocking.
Yeah, he got the rushing action.
Yeah, I mean, those days for him are few and far between. I don't know that he almost never produces a top 5 fantasy performance.
He used to back in 2020. Yeah. He was a big garbage time guy. I mean, he would be throwing like 3 touchdowns every game.
Yeah.
All in garbage time. I remember it distinctly. Mm-hmm. That's like when you had him on your fantasy team and like every week he was outscoring the one that you kept playing. I don't remember who your starter was.
Might have been Lamar.
It might have been someone like that. So, but now they just completely have changed the way they play.
Yeah.
So anyways, good job on this pick though.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Any thoughts?
I don't have a whole lot to add on this one.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't get to watch much of the game last night.
What are you doing? A little date?
I did not have a date, bro. It's final season for me. I'm on the grind this week.
I see. Well, you didn't miss out on much. I mean, in the sense that it was close, I guess it was a decent game.
Yeah.
Moving on to our Week 6 start and sits. Starting Chris Olave ended up being pretty all right.
Good call, bro.
Starting KJ Osborne. See, again, I thought this game would be higher scoring, Vikings-Bears. I didn't realize the weather was going to be as bad as it was until, I mean, it wasn't even that bad, but I did end up seeing, like, as the week went on, like, oh, it's going to be maybe a little rainy, a little wet, a little windy. And, yeah, so KJ Osborne didn't really produce. Jordan Addison got a touchdown, so if you started him, like Jake suggested, I'd say you probably got out pretty good. Seeing Brian Robinson, not ideal. He produced pretty decently, but seeing Rachaad White was great. You probably could have sat a lot of the Buccaneers because they didn't even score a touchdown. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I did have Jordan Addison here. And
yeah, I'd give that one, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's only because of the touchdown, though. Like, he had 28 yards.
Hey, dude, you get a touchdown in my book, like, you good.
Yeah, I guess.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it was a good start, but... You know, I wouldn't have exactly forecasted.
See, like I thought, we just thought it was going to be a better, like a higher scoring game. Like I think Kirk only completed 12 passes.
Right.
You know, so.
Yeah, it seemed like he was favoring Osborne and his targets at least.
Yeah, KJ just couldn't make anything happen.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, dude, the rest of my starts and sits, bro. I don't know what I'm doing with these.
You should. I mean, Darren Waller should have caught that ball though.
Yeah.
The final untimed down, dude, on Sunday night. That's a ball when you get paid the amount that he gets paid that you gotta make happen. Like that was a pretty good throw from Tyrod Taylor. There's a little jersey tug, but Darren Waller, you gotta make that catch. So I think it was a good suggestion, a good idea, and the player just did not come through. Just.
Thank you.
But the opportunities
I appreciate
were there.
The support there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was. I mean, it should have been like there should have been a touchdown tacked on right there.
Right, and then my 2 sits were Jerome Ford and Breece Hall, bro. Like, who would have predicted that the Browns beat the 49ers and Jerome has a good game and that you know
I sat Breece Hall today or this week because of your suggestion. I almost lost in fantasy because
dude. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just kidding.
Deeply apologize for that one.
No, I sat Zach Moss again too, which also I could have started.
Yeah,
but there's so many like good players on my team, like James Cook. I mean, James Cook ran pretty good against the Giants. They just didn't use him a ton. He didn't have a lot of catches, which hurt.
Yeah, after I put him in my parlay the week before for 25 yards and he puts up -4, he definitely had a good bounce back week.
Yeah, I mean, he was running at like 5 yards a clip.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you have it. I mean, we try and help you guys out. Don't get mad at us, all right? And then, please don't get mad at us for these bets here.
Just listen to our shorts, bro.
I'm telling you, these are just ideas, all right? Things to consider, things to mull over, and then you ultimately decide whether, we're right or wrong. I mean, we're just kind of giving you guys something to gnaw on.
It's hilarious to me that our one NFL pick between the two of us hit. That's the one that we disagreed on, and all the rest did not hit.
I'll start off saying, again, Tennessee not playing at home. It was just, a fake home game in London. So I kind of retracted that one. But, yes, I put it out there. Again, we already talked about the Chargers. So, I mean, they came close. Didn't end up happening. Seattle came close to covering the spread. Didn't end up happening. Florida International got absolutely pounded by University of Texas El Paso. which was mind-boggling to me. Just a gross game. Oh, I hate that. That's bad. Alabama was covering the spread against Arkansas, and then they blew it, let Arkansas into the game. They did win, but only by 3. Ohio State, though, I felt really good about this one, and that's why I included it in my short against Purdue, easily covering that spread. Now, the Oregon-Washington game, I have lots of thoughts similar to that Chargers-Cowboys game in the sense that Dan Lanning, the head coach of Oregon, made a lot of aggressive play calls on 4th down instead of kicking field goals that would have allowed them to not only cover the spread, but may have even won the game for them. Wyoming, though, I felt good about this one against Air Force, 10.5. I think it might have even gone to 11, and they covered this. They could have even won the game, but yeah, they still covered, so good stuff there. Felt good about that one. I really have liked University of Alabama Birmingham. They've been good covering the spread lately, but not against yet another Texas team. This one, San Antonio, so that did not come through. Vanderbilt came out guns a-blazing against Georgia. Georgia still took the win, but did not cover that spread. I did like Duke at NC State, though. I just thought coming off the bye there, Duke, even without Riley Leonard, it's a good team. NC State's not looked very good. They easily covered that spread. And North Carolina has just been my wagon of the year. Every time I pick them, they have come through for me. So I'm going to pick them again this week, but they took care of business with Miami. And then Cal and Utah, that did not end up going under 45, sadly. Actually, I might have gotten this wrong. Was this? No. I also was thinking about the UCLA Oregon State under. That also did not hit. So, yeah, just a bad under pick. But, I mean, I got a few of these right, and the ones I put in the short ended up coming through 2 for 3.
Yeah, that's the one. Those are the ones that matter most.
Yeah, I'm happy about that. 66%, like I'll take that.
Yeah,
I'll take that any day.
It's most likely that people aren't really fast forwarding and listening to, our segment at 40 minutes into the pod.
Yeah.
So the ones that we post that are short little clips, those are the ones that we're most confident that you should be betting.
Yeah, that's why I perked up for that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I selected. I mean, out of the 4 I got right on here in the podcast, I selected 2 of them to put in the short, and then I took another one that I didn't say in the podcast that did not end up happening. Anyways, let's hear about your bets.
Yeah, they were not great. Dallas money line's the only one that cashed. The rest of mine were all on that Vikings-Bears game, which I thought was going to be high scoring. Thought the Bears were going to come out.
I mean, it just didn't go the way we thought it could have, but I mean, it easily could have gone that way.
So Bears money line didn't hit. Over 46.5, bro. Like, I thought that was a lock. Both teams have crappy defenses, and I just thought they were going to go nuts. And no, nowhere close.
So it's funny. I know I was telling you earlier, I wanted to bet the over in this game, and when I was at the USC Notre Dame game, and I was looking at my betting and all that stuff, and I was slightly inebriated, I placed my bet for that.
Yeah.
Wake up the next day, see that. Well, time goes on. I see that the Bears, goes under. And I look at my account. I was like, I had won some money. I'm like, how'd this happen? Oh, well, I actually bet the under.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way. So that cashed just out of pure luck for me. But yeah, all right, we're going to have a better week here. Week 7 picks. Let's get into it. Thursday Night Football, Jacksonville at New Orleans. Trevor Lawrence, questionable with a knee injury from what I hear. Also, I believe one of the members of their secondary is out or maybe going to probably be out. So I actually switched my pick to New Orleans. This is kind of a must-win for them. They can't drop another game like this where, they're at home against a team that they fully are able to win. Jacksonville's been on the move a lot lately, whether it be coming back from London. I know they played at home this week, but now they have to go to New Orleans. Not a far flight or anything like that, but on a short week, I just like New Orleans in this game. And I was going to make it conditionally. If Trevor Lawrence doesn't play, I'll pick New Orleans, but I ain't going to be a bitch. I'm just going to take New Orleans straight up here.
I like that pick, actually. I could definitely see New Orleans winning this game. I actually had New Orleans originally and did change it to Jacksonville just because
I mean, it's the smarter pick right now, and I might be wrong. I probably will be wrong, but just to make the podcast a little more interesting, have a little contention.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still going to take Jacksonville. Whether or not T-Law plays, I do think that they've got enough weapons on offense to where they should be able to get the job done. But I could see New Orleans winning this game, especially because they're at home.
Yeah, that's actually a tough place to play. Like, home field advantage in Los Angeles, versus home field advantage in New Orleans are completely different things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there were just bazillion Cowboy fans at that Charger game. I was like, why is it so freaking loud and the Los Angeles Chargers are on offense? It was just so many things just irked me about that game.
Yeah.
Anyways, I mean, SoFi is just a beautiful stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Los Angeles natives, come out and support your team. I mean, whether it be the Rams or the Chargers, like, whatever. Just go.
Everyone wants to go there, dude. Even the Cowboys want to.
I mean, the Cowboys are, I guess, maybe America's team, whether we like it or not. Atlanta at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay should rebound at home again and win this game. Atlanta's starting to flounder a little bit. They have to go on the road now. Again, not a far flight or anything like that, but I just think Tampa Bay's defense, which is pretty good, should be able to hold up against Desmond Ridder, who's not very good.
Yeah, I think that Baker's due for a better performance this week.
Yeah, I mean, if Sam Howell can throw 3 touchdowns at Atlanta, surely Baker can get 2.
Yeah, I think he's going to get the ball to Mike Evans more this week. Mike Evans has struggled the past few weeks, but I think he's due for a rebound week this week. Maybe throwing up, 100-yard game.
Yeah, I would like that for him. Vegas at Chicago. This could end up being one of the most raccoon games of all time with 2 backup quarterbacks, whether it be Brian Hoyer or Aiden O'Connell versus Tyson Bagent. Look, it's really weird, honestly. Like, the fact, like, what are the chances? 32 teams, some quarterbacks get injured different times, and then they just happen to align for, like, a backup quarterback duel here.
It's part of the game script, bro.
Part of the game script, whether it ends up favoring Vegas or Chicago, at least it kind of evens the playing field. But Vegas has been winning these, like, games that they're going up against bad teams. They're not a great team themselves, but they're winning. Like, they beat, the Packers. They beat the Patriots. They got a nice little stretch here to gain some momentum and go in and beat Chicago. Brian Hoyer is capable. Aiden O'Connell also proved to be somewhat capable. So I'm going to take Vegas here against a floundering Bears team that already peaked this year. They had 1 game, and that was it. That's it.
Yeah, same as you. I'm taking Vegas with Bagent in, bro.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Fields is not playing, so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think I would have taken the Bears.
I would have taken them if it was Fields.
Would you?
Yeah.
I mean, not after watching his game on Sunday. I know he only played for some of it.
Yeah, I mean, I still believe that if he's there, like, he can make something happen at home against. I mean, it's probably not going to be great weather. You got to start, as the temperatures get colder here, really taking advantage into, like, Green Bay's home field advantage, the Bears' home field advantage, New England's home field advantage. All that will be very important here as the months go on. But I'm going to take Vegas.
Samesies.
Cleveland at Indianapolis. Oh, my goodness. Deshaun Watson, I hope, will play. Gardner Minshew's definitely going to play. Anthony Richardson may miss the rest of the season. And that is why I'm going to take Cleveland. We saw Gardner Minshew, who I really like, struggle against a Jacksonville defense that is not quite as good as Cleveland's defense. So by, just the law of
transitivity.
Order. Transitivity. That's a good one. I think Cleveland will be able to handle Gardner Minshew, although it looks like you're taking Indy here.
Yeah, I mean, you have a good pick. I mean, this game could totally go either way. But I think that Cleveland beating the 49ers last week was an absolute fluke.
Oh, it was.
I mean, they're obviously not the better team. And I guess I kind of made this pick thinking that Watson was still going to be out, thinking that PJ was starting
I mean,
again.
you just never know. I mean, he really should have played the last, 3 weeks, but he's just a little pansy.
I don't know. I guess I won't change it, even if, Watson does start for them. But, yeah, this pick was made thinking that PJ was starting, and, I have absolutely zero faith in PJ to carry his team to another victory, bro. I mean, PJ is – I think he's just so bad. But, yeah, I'm taking the Colts.
No, I hear you. All right, sounds good. Washington at the Giants. Pretty easy pick for me. Giants had, a battle and a half, emotional loss on the road. They're coming home. Probably Daniel Jones, maybe not. Either way, doesn't matter. Washington's feeling good. Some momentum going now into this game. Should be an easy win for them. I really do believe that.
Yeah, dude. I'm picking Washington as well. Although I think this is game number 4 in a row that's kind of a raccoon game. It's
that's why I've been
straight.
saying to you, college football is a better watch this year. It's more enjoyable. I mean, obviously, I find myself more invested into it because I'm, a huge Notre Dame fan, whereas, I'm not a big Bears fan, like relative to, each other.
Right.
I find that maybe it's just because there's more games, but more games are better than the games in the NFL. I mean, there's just so much more competitiveness, even though, I mean, you take out all those like games when Alabama plays Vanderbilt or whatever, but you still have a lot of really like interesting, compelling storylines. So yeah, right now, NFL just, it hasn't been great. And that has to also mainly do with some horrible primetime selections coupled with some bad luck. Aaron Rodgers getting hurt, sloppy penalties, all that stuff. But yeah, Washington at Giants, taking Washington for both of us. Now, Detroit at Baltimore, I would say going into this week is the game of the week.
Yes.
And I would love Detroit to win. Like, Detroit is one of my just kind of adopted teams, I would say right now, even though they're a division rival. I don't really care about the Bears. But yeah, would love to see the Lions continue to succeed. They're going on the road here again. I just don't love their chances against Baltimore. Really good defense, pretty solid offense, maybe a slightly better coach, probably the better quarterback. I'm going to take Baltimore here, although I would definitely love to see Detroit win. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. Baltimore's traveling back from London this week. I think that they're going to have a bit of an adjustment period there.
That is a very good point.
And again, we got to ride the hot hand with Detroit. I mean, they have just popped off on offense.
Yeah, I mean, they look great. They really do. They've also not really played great teams. And so
that's true.
They're kind of up there with Miami for me in terms of just they need to prove it against somebody here. Like if they win against Baltimore, they could. Legit. I mean, they're very legit. I mean, I think they're legit right now. I mean, they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to, have a shot with whoever they play in the playoffs, I believe. But this game, I am going to stick with Baltimore. But I do like your pick. I like it a lot.
Thanks, dude.
Buffalo at New England. Buffalo's going to come in. They're going to clean up all their mistakes, I believe, and just roll the Patriots, which they've gotten very good at over the last few years here. Although, I think Mac Jones, they say he's like on a short leash. So Mac Jones throws a pick in this game. Malik Cunningham is going in, undoubtedly. Would love to see him get some action, but that just, plays better for Baltimore. I mean, actually, though, who knows? Whenever that happens to Buffalo, whenever they go up against a backup quarterback, they've struggled. Kind of odd. They just
crumble.
So, I guess there's that. But I'm still going to take Buffalo.
Yeah, I don't foresee that happening again. I know they didn't do the best against the Giants, but Buffalo's coming back in this game. They're ready to steamroll New England, bro.
Yeah, I agree. Arizona at Seattle.
Battle of the Birds.
Yeah. Actually, I saw like someone's schedule. I think it might be 49ers. They have like 5 Bird games in a row, like toward the end of their season. Dude, they got Seahawks, Ravens, Eagles, Cardinals, and then like the Seahawks again. It's pretty crazy. Lots of Bird action.
Dude, wait. I think that no team has ever beaten all 5 Birds in one season before. So
really?
Are they facing all 5 of the Birds, or are they just
yeah, Niners. Yeah, they have, because the Niners play the NFC North this year. They played Cleveland. They played Pittsburgh already, so they need to play Baltimore and Cincinnati. So they have Baltimore on the schedule. They're in the division with the 2 other Bird teams. And then because they're both division winners, they have to play the Eagles.
Oh, that's right, dude. I
wonder. That's how the schedule gets made. You play everyone who finished in the same position in the division as you. You play
your division twice.
NFC division, yeah. You play everyone your division twice, and then you play one AFC division,
dude,
and then you play the same seeded, not necessarily same seeded, but like
same rank,
the counterpart team in the other conference, which was the 17th game they added just a couple years ago. So yes.
Yeah, dude,
yes, they have the opportunity to beat all the Birds.
Yeah, no one has ever beaten the Bird Gauntlet before, bro. This would be.
It's a lot of Birds because they get 2 Cardinals and 2 Seahawks.
Yeah, but no, I think just no one has ever beaten all 5 Birds in the same season. But if anyone could do it, I feel like the 49ers could be that team.
I think that it's going to be tough. The Ravens and the Eagles are going to be the tougher ones there because I think they'll win at least one game against the Seahawks and the Cardinals.
Right.
But getting back to this game, I like this game a lot in terms of Seattle fantasy-wise. Like I'm taking their defense off the waivers to play this week. I don't love Arizona going up to Seattle, a very tough place to play. Again, this is a great home advantage team. So I'm taking Seattle. I like even them to maybe cover the spread in this game as well.
Yeah, I like that. I feel like this is going to be almost just like the Rams game against the Cardinals. Like I could see it being like almost the exact same like finish where like Cardinals and Seattle keep it close in the start, but then Seattle just starts to pull away and like a little 26-9 finish. Like I could totally see that happening for this game.
Yeah, I think Seattle's going to bounce back off that loss and they're going to go nuts.
I like that.
Pittsburgh at the Rams. This one scares me a bit because whenever Pittsburgh comes off of a bye, they're usually pretty solid. And so I wouldn't mind taking Pittsburgh and the 3 points, but I am going to take the Rams here just because Pittsburgh's secondary has not been fantastic. The Rams are pretty good passing the ball. They are probably going to be resorting to like a third-string running back, though, but I just don't think it really matters against Pittsburgh because they, it's kind of like their weakness going up against Pittsburgh's strength. So it's like, all right, we're just not going to run the ball a ton.
Yeah, I mean, they don't need to, bro. When they have Kupp and they've got Puka. But I do think that they're just going to hammer the ball to Kupp.
Right.
He's just too electric.
I believe that Aaron Donald might eat Kenny Pickett.
Dude, he might. Absolute consumption, cannibalism.
I know, but I'm saying, though, Pittsburgh off a bye is pretty good.
But we're still taking the Rams.
Yep, still taking the Rams. Chargers at Kansas City. Now, if the Chargers won this game against the Cowboys, I might have been coaxed into picking them, but absolutely freaking not. Maybe later when they play in LA, but even then, home field advantage for LA doesn't mean jack squat, especially the Chargers. So yeah, taking Kansas City here, coming off of like an extra 3 days of rest because they play on Thursday night. Really, really do like this pick here. I like them even to maybe cover as well. So, yep.
You like Kansas City to cover or the Chargers to cover?
Kansas City to probably cover. Like if you put a gun to my head, like I'm not going to put in our bets for the pod.
You've got Chargers plus 5.5 in the best bets, though.
I'm changing my mind. Oh, my goodness. No, yeah, I'm changing my mind. I've really sold my stock on the Chargers right now. Like I've thought about it. You must have had a
revelation since
I have. Like as the Tuesday goes on, like I really think a lot, and I listen to some podcasts about sports, and I think and I ruminate and I talk, and I've come to the conclusion that Kansas City's much, much better, especially with that 3 extra day rest.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if I saw the Chargers in your best bets section for the next 5 weeks because...
Yeah, I mean, I liked him against Minnesota a couple weeks ago, which ended up paying out, but nope, I'm kind of done with them right now. Yeah. Like, I like Justin Herbert a lot, but he's just kind of plateaued.
Right.
And I believe that's because of coaching. Like, you put him on... maybe the Jaguars, I think he's better than Trevor Lawrence. You put him on some of these other teams. You put him on the Ravens, I think he's better than Lamar Jackson. But right now, he's plateaued because of the coaching limitations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that.
Green Bay at Denver. Tough one for me to pick. I feel like Denver's eventually going to just look really good because they have the pieces to do so. I think eventually that could happen. And it looks like you might be picking that to happen now. I'm going to take Green Bay coming off of the bye to win this game, though. I think Jordan Love bounces back against a really poor defense and kind of a broken spirit team.
Yeah, again, this one really could go either way. I'd pick Denver just because they're at home here, but
yeah.
I don't really love.
I mean, are fans even showing up to their game? Do they have any fans anymore, actually?
Probably more than Chicago. I don't know, man. No, they don't have more fans than Chicago, but I'm sure that their attendance is dwindling for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, your freshman year roommate's a big Bronco fan, and, he might be watching the podcast. You should go out to the game and support him if you're watching.
Maybe, but he's out in Salt Lake City, though.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. That is true.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll make the trip out to Denver for this game.
Probably not. Miami at Philadelphia. I switched my pick on this one because I switched it for this and the Lions game because
Hold on. So we just got to preface this. Dude, look at this is a primetime matchup here.
Oh,
Sunday
my God.
night, bro.
Well, believe it or not.
This is going to be electric.
I'm sure an injury will come out Gardner Minshew's hurt. Or no. Oh, my God. Jalen Hurts is hurt. We got to play whoever the backup is, and it ends up being a bad game. I could always see that happening. But yes, right now it looks like it'll be a very, very good game. 2 5-1 teams. And like I was saying, I changed my pick for this game and the Detroit-Baltimore game because I felt like I was picking too much with my heart. I don't like the Eagles. I like the Dolphins, and that's why I originally picked them. But more I thought about it, Miami's played just horseshit teams, whether it be the Giants, whether it be the Panthers, Broncos, Chargers are ending up not looking so good. That win doesn't look great. And they got steamrolled by the Bills, who have struggled also against like okay teams.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take Philly here. Coming off of a tough road loss, they're going to go back home, straighten things out, and I think they will just kind of go nuts on Miami's not so great defense. I mean, I think it's a good game. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Philly's defense isn't great, so I think Tua has success, but ultimately Jalen Hurts makes the better play on his running capabilities. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, I think that's actually probably the smarter pick. I mean, after the loss to the Jets, like,
yeah,
Philly is going to
I think that's the anomaly. Like, I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to have good years last year. They lost their offensive coordinator, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think he's solid.
I mean, yeah, he certainly is. But I think he's going to come into this game, and he's probably going to really want to get the victory. And so he's going to play well.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm still going to take Miami, bro. I like rooting for the underdogs a little bit.
Yeah,
here.
no, I love watching them. I mean, they're so capable. I mean, they're so fast to score. So
it's going to be hard to bet against this offense, generally.
Yeah. It's too bad their defense just isn't up to snuff. Although Jalen Ramsey coming back, not sure when that will be, but that could definitely help out there.
I got to check the over-under on this game, bro, because I bet you that's probably one of the highest for the week.
Like 48 or 49.
Really? You think?
That would
not
be
in the
my
50s?
Bet. I mean, maybe I'm wrong about that. Let's just take a little peek here while I preview the San Fran Minnesota game for you guys, which I'm absolutely taking San Francisco to bounce back on Monday night here. But yeah, let's just take a look. You got any thoughts about the San Fran Minnesota game?
Bro, San Fran is not losing 2 in a row. I
mean,
mean, they are fantastic team.
No, absolutely not.
Bro, they're not going to lose to this team that is 1-5 or 1-4 now, or however many games they've lost.
So it is 52. It started at 52 and a half, came down to 52. 84% of the public is betting the over there, kind of like the under.
Yeah, that does kind of make sense. That it.
I know we just talked about both defenses not being great, but 52 is a lot of points. These games, like these primetime games, as bad or as horribly penalized the teams have been, sloppy football, they just have not been high scoring at all. Like Kansas City, Denver. Like you think maybe that one can get up there a little bit. Nope. You think maybe Buffalo just rolls the Giants? Nope. You think that Chargers, Dallas could get up there? Nope. Like I think all those hit the under.
Yeah.
So I'm liking the under here.
What's the spread on this one? Is it Philly -2.5?
It's moved to -2. And the public is split down the middle, 50-50 exactly.
Wow.
In terms of...
That's so interesting.
Yeah, the spread. And then money line. You got 66% of the public on Miami. Wow.
Ooh,
they like that.
saucy.
They like that value.
Yeah, they like the underdog value. What is that, like plus 115, 130? 118.
Yep.
Okay.
Opened at 126. And it's narrowing. So good stuff. That's a
Yeah.
good game. I will definitely make time in my day
100%.
to watch that. I think I'm going golf on Sunday, but I'll get back and watch that game.
Yeah,
Lots of teams on bye this week.
6 of them. After there was only 2 teams last week.
It's kind of weird. Like I always thought there was the same amount of teams every week on bye, but evidently not. Good stuff though. Get to focus more on the games that we have instead of being, kind of spread thin. Now, my Week 7 start and sits. I like Green Bay receivers. I like Green Bay to bounce back. Denver has a really bad defense. I know Patrick Mahomes struggled a bit, but the Broncos got up a little bit more for that divisional rivalry. So whether you have Christian Watson, whether you have Romeo Doubs, whether you have both of them, why don't you just throw both into the lineup? I like those. I'm saying Kirk Cousins, though. He had a bad game against the Bears, which he probably should have done a little bit better because their defense is a fraction of what the 49ers and what he will have to face on Monday night. Kirk Cousins is also just really bad in primetime. I think he's only won like a handful of games, maybe not even. I think he's won less than 4 games on primetime over the course of his career, and this is definitely not one that he'll be able to win.
Yeah, man, I like those picks.
Yeah,
I mean, good ones.
I know Kirk Cousins to most may seem like a sit quarterback, but he's not been. He is a star quarterback for most of the games because of the fact that they can't run the ball and they're always throwing.
Yeah, I mean, the guy in my league who has Kirk actually has Burrow as well. and so he started
I
Burrow.
don't like that. Like you can't have two quarterbacks like that are that close. Like you want to have like Kirk Cousins and like Kenny Pickett, or you want to have like some like that's a good strategy in terms of drafting. You pass on all those good quarterbacks up front. You wait a little later and you get Kirk Cousins because obviously no one respects him, but he's tossing up like 3-4 touchdowns and like 400 yards a game. Obviously not the last game or the game before that, but still he's productive.
Right, yeah. That guy in my league had Burrow start both week 1 and week 2. Didn't
Yeah,
put
I
up
bet
the
now
best.
he's starting Kirk, and now
Yeah, he
like
started
Burrow's
Kirk.
outdoing them. So
Exactly.
that's why you can't have those two quarterbacks.
Yeah,
I actually
it's a
have
bad
Josh
combo.
Allen and Kirk, but I just think because Josh Allen rushes so much more than like Burrow does, like he's an ultimately like I'm starting Josh Allen no matter what.
Yeah.
But Kirk will be good for that bye week.
Although he's been having a lesser or a down year in terms of his rushing. Like only
Yeah, well, I mean
11
that's
yards.
good for him though in terms of
Staying
just
safe.
being smart. Yeah, and thankfully he's had bad games, and then the fourth quarter rolls around and he tosses up a couple touchdowns and kind of saves my ass.
Yeah.
Thank you, Josh Allen, even though you didn't look great against the Giants. Let's hear your starting sits for week 7.
Yeah, dude, I've got Curtis Samuel as my start this week, and
He's been sneaky.
dude, he's silently
Yeah.
inching his way into wide receiver 2 territory.
I mean, maybe wide receiver 1. I mean, Terry McLaurin certainly ain't really. I mean,
Yeah.
in terms of like the Washington team.
No,
I mean,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. Yeah, wide receiver 2 on your fantasy
yeah,
team.
exactly.
I hear you.
He does seem to be like eclipsing Terry.
yeah,
in
he's
terms
outdoing
of
Terry
a
right now.
point. He actually is, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Even in fantasy, he's
Surely.
outdoing Terry. So yeah, he's had double-digit points the last 2 or 3 weeks here. He's looking good out there. He's getting the targs, bro. He's had a touchdown.
The targs
the
are
last
huge,
2
man.
weeks.
If he's not converting those all in the catches, targs are still huge. There was a receiver I saw this week. It might have been Marquise Brown, who only like caught like 3 of 11 or something crazy like that. And it's like those are ones that it's like bittersweet. It's like you're banging your head against the wall, but it's like at least the quarterback likes to throw you the ball.
Yeah.
Eventually, you're gonna start catching some of those.
And dude, listen to this though, because he does catch them. So like week
Yeah.
1,
Oh yeah.
5 targs, 5 catches.
Oh, I know. I mean, Curtis Samuel
Yeah.
has like been solid. He was on the Panthers before, good player, and he kind of got like shoved under the rug the last year or 2. Now he's back.
Yeah.
He's back. He looks good.
So 3 games this year, he caught every ball that was thrown to him.
Wow, that's really good.
5 for 5, 3 for 3, 4 for 4, and then in 2 of the games, he only missed 1. So 7 for 8 and 6 for 7.
That's actually fantastic.
I know,
mean,
right?
Good for that guy.
Yeah.
Good for that dude.
So Curtis is the start this week.
Oh yeah.
Double-digit points the last 3 weeks, 2
Kinda
touchdowns.
Maybe you start him every week at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
until he proves you otherwise.
he is
Until
certainly
he
a
has like
startable
2
player.
bad games in a row. I think he's a kind of a start right now
Yeah.
every week.
I like Curtis, dude. I'm
Yeah.
finally going to have a good start and sit this week.
I
I'm
hope
feeling
so.
it. Although the next one is quite a bit of a gamble
That was
because
a little bold.
you're not going to be sitting Puka generally in your league, but I think that Cup is just he's back, dude. He's so back.
Yeah.
He's Stafford's
I
favorite.
know. I mean, Tutu's been down. Puka's been down.
Yeah, the defenses don't know how to guard Cup anymore, dude. He's
No.
back in full form, and
That's
the
really
defenses are just
impressive.
going to guard Puka.
Yeah.
And Cup is going to have his season that he had a couple years ago.
I do like. I would start Puka though this week, just because he's proven. Even though I think this past week was his only bad week. Even the week before when Cup played, he still had a touchdown. So I would still start Puka, but we'll see what ends up happening in that game. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yep. I do like Curtis Samuel though.
Thanks, dude.
All right, getting on to our best backs. Hopefully, they are pretty good, but just stay tuned for our shorts where we give you where our heart really truly lies. Like I like all these picks, but they're more like just substance to chew on, like just something
Leans.
to think about.
Kinda like
yeah,
leans a
yeah,
little bit.
leans. I like leans. So Pittsburgh +3. Again, Pittsburgh coming off a bye, pretty good. So I like maybe them to cover the spread. I like Washington to cover the spread a lot against the Giants. I'm really shocked that they're only favored by 2 against the New York Giants. Getting into my college bets, you guys know I like to go nuts with these. James Madison has been a cover machine. They do really well. Now they're going on the road on Friday. I think it is Thursday or Friday. 3.5 point favorites. I like them to cover that against Marshall. Another road game here. Underdog covering Baylor. I like almost Baylor to win, but we're just going to do spreads here. +2.5 at Cincinnati. Cincinnati hasn't been great. Baylor's coming off of a bye, so I like them to cover here. Rutgers -5 against Indiana is a bit of a head scratcher to me. Rutgers has played pretty well this year, had a comeback win against Michigan State. Indiana just got absolutely pummeled. They're still hurting, and they will still be hurting from the Michigan loss, so I like Rutgers. Iowa, 3.5. Minnesota, I think it's at Iowa too. This is a head scratcher for me. I really like Iowa here. Iowa's defense is nuts. Just listen to this. College game. The over-under in this game is like 32 points.
What?
Because Iowa's defense is just so locked down, and their offense is so abysmal.
I have never seen a spread line that low, or an over-under line that
That's
low.
what I'm saying,
That's
dude.
unreal.
Because Iowa has a historically bad offense and a historically good defense, and they play all these shit Big Ten teams that are similar on offense. Wisconsin, just bad on offense. Minnesota, bad on offense, so I like them to cover the spread. Wake Forest -2 against Pitt. Wake Forest coming off of a bye. I believe Pitt just had an emotional victory against Louisville in which they blew them out. Kind of stupid, but whatever. So I like Wake Forest to cover. Ole Miss coming off of a bye as well. I love these. Coming off of a bye gets me hard. -6.5 at Auburn. Auburn is just... If I have to watch any Auburn games, which I don't, but if I were to, I would seriously consider just, doing something unspeakable because they are abysmal on offense. Kind of like Iowa, they just don't have the defense to back it up like Iowa does. Then North Carolina, like I said, they are just my wagon for the year. -23.5 against a bad Virginia team. And finally, under 56, Utah at USC. I like USC to win this game, but Utah has a really good defense, similar to Notre Dame in the sense that Utah will be able to similarly shut down USC like Notre Dame did. Utah doesn't have as good of an offense as Notre Dame. USC will still be able to score, though, and put some points and still win this game. I don't think it's going to get up to 56. So those are my picks. I know it's a lot. Just something to think about. I'll kind of narrow it down in a short, hopefully later this week.
Good picks, bro. I like those.
Thank you. Hopefully they come through.
Yeah, I hope so too. I really curtailed my list, bro.
Yeah, holy cow.
I thought about them this morning, and I had made some picks, and after thinking about it today, talking it over with you, I had to remove some of my other best bets of the week. I am just rolling with Detroit money line at
all
plus
the eggs in one basket.
That's the only one.
I like it. You might have convinced me because I forgot that Baltimore was coming back from London. I do like that.
Yeah. So they're at plus money this week, and I think that it's going to be one of the only weeks for the rest of the season that you'll see Detroit in the positives here. For the money
they
lines.
actually have I hear one of the easiest remaining schedules, so it absolutely is. So good stuff. Yeah, I think this is a really good game, good one to watch this weekend. I like that pick. I like maybe taking the Miami one as well, just to have that positive value, see what happens. One of them is bound to come through. I don't think both favorites win, even though I'm picking both favorites to win at the moment. That is all we have for you guys. Fun stuff, long episode, but there's just a lot to talk about this week. Won't be as much next week because of all those bye teams. Thank you as always for watching. Stay tuned later in the week for the shorts that we post. Of course, a Thursday night football short parlay, and then hopefully I can put out a college football one as well, although obviously not as many people care about college football, so I might transition that over to the NFL at some point or do both, but just stay tuned.
Yes, sir. We finally got the surprise in store. It's officially happening this Thursday. You guys better be ready for it.
I'm so excited. I think it'll ensure parlay always hits.
Dude, the Parlizzle is going to be so voltaic this week.
You guys heard it. You guys heard it here. We're 2 for 3 so far on those Thursday night football parlays. You don't want to miss out. I mean, you might as well at least toss it in. Just you're bound. Percentage wise, statistically,
it's profitable, dude.
Exactly.
The null hypothesis is going to be proven. You cannot reject the null hypothesis.
The confidence interval is 99% here. So I don't understand why you wouldn't. So tune in wherever you want. TikTok, Instagram, our basement, or YouTube shorts. It's all there. We're here. So I'll see you guys next week. You got any final thoughts?
No, nothing else from me. Just thank you as always for listening.
Appreciate it, guys. We'll see you next week.